Alright guys, welcome back to the Regal Gentleman YouTube channel at the Hunter Collective. Today we've got Reece in the chair. Now we've got a very exciting one today because we've got our very first mullet. And my very first mullet for a long time. So I used to have a very similar haircut to this. If anyone used to work with me in the Liverpool City Centre men's salon, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And I even had highlights as well. So we're taking it back a little bit now. So we've just had a little chat, only because it's such a personalised haircut to Reece, okay? So should we have a little chat again and we can talk through what we just spoke about? So I asked you what you would like, and you've got a particular request on how you like your haircuts, and you've had done like this for a long time, and you love the mullet, right? You're attached to the mullet.
Yeah.
And I know what that's like. It's almost like a beard. It's like anyone with a beard, it's kind of the same idea, isn't it? It takes you so long to grow. It's like you become attached. So your idea was that you want to have, you showed me a picture, didn't you? And it was shorter here, step, and then longer hair at the top as well, and obviously through the back, we're trying to texturize the mullet a little bit. We want to maintain as much length as possible, and then we'll just break it up a little bit. But I'll show you, I'll do a good little technique for that to kind of maintain length. Now, on the top, you're wearing it forwards, is that right? Mm-hmm. But you've got a little bit of asymmetry sitting through there as well. So you've got a little bit of longer length there compared to that side there. Now, I put a suggestion to Reece, was that on the sides, I said, could we do a skin fade? And he wasn't a big fan of the skin fade, which I understand. It's a particular look for somebody, right? So Reece really wants to keep the kind of step in it, but I thought what would be quite nice is if we did say like a 1 or a 1.5 on the very bottom, then we did maybe a bit of clipper over comb or something, or maybe a 4 or something, that kind of length, so it's longer length, no scalp exposure. So to obviously keep that kind of shape and squareness through here, and then just put a line to separate the two. More than leaving it as a step, I just think the line would kind of crisp it a little bit more and give that separation. But it'd be really, really neat as well. And I think it'll look really nice. So that was a good little compromise that we came to, because I could just see that looking a little bit more precise for this, and adding a little bit of contrast with like the really kind of loose curls and the mullets, and then that kind of really sharpness through the sides as well. So I think it'd be nice. Again, through the top, you only want to lose about ½ an inch, right? Don't want to lose too much. I think it's more about shape though for Reece as well. It's more about this shape through the corners here, because as you can see, it's just a little bit longer through the corner. You don't really need all that length for this.
To curl as well.
No, they don't. No, you can see it's very curly here, and then quite, So I think the shorter you go with that, the better that'll be as well. More we'll do. I'm not going to razor this much. I'm going to do this based on sections, okay? So when you work on sections, you can create texture, especially with curly hair. You don't really want to point cut into curly hair, because it can sometimes look a bit frayed. So I always tend to cut it very blunt. Same through the back as well. But what that'll help by the sections that we take, we'll create the movement for you as well. So by going a bit shorter here, we'll be able to curl that a bit more to match up to the top as well. And same through the back at the same time as well. All right, so let's give it a wash and a condition, and then we'll get started, all right? So guys, I've just shampooed and conditioned Reece's hair. I'm going to start by working on the mullet, okay? So I'm going to get that out of the way, because it's like two haircuts, okay? The back is of its own accord, right? So this is something that we work on separately and independently from the sides and the top, okay? Like Reece wants a little bit of texture in there. He's got lovely curls at the back as well, so I think it'd be really nice to help the curls move a little bit as well. And I'm also going to disconnect it from the sides as well, okay? There's my disconnection. So that, again, is the sides. That's blended into the back. So this is where I'm going to focus on for the mullet. And just want to keep all this length. Again, Reece just wants it just textured. That's all he really wants to do. So what I'm going to do is take wide sections like that. And bring it into the middle. So I'm over directing both sides. I'm going to do an angle it towards me. And cut. Now you'll see length come off it. But what I'm doing is, don't forget, I'm cutting into the middle to break it up. So it's going from shorter to longer. So all that length is there. We've got shorter elements in there too. There's the shorter elements. Bringing everything into the middle. Angling my tip of my fingers towards the top to create length towards the bottom, like so. Do it down the bottom, nothing comes off. Pull it out towards me, follow it through like that. Leave it on the bottom. So you see what we're doing? We're leaving all that length, but all these shorter layers are going to help you move around. So what we're left with is movement through the shorter layers. We've over directed everything from the side into the middle. So we're maintaining length either side, and having that shorter layer in the middle, as you can see like that. And with the fingertips away from me, do the same thing. There we go. So what we create is movement and a longer finish down the bottom as well. Again, like I said at the start, the sections that we take are going to create the texture in this haircut, especially at the back as well. So Reece is wearing it all forwards with that kind of texture, so I'm going to wear from the fringe and work back to maintain a little bit of length through here as well. So I'm going to take a section down the middle. And I'm going to cut this a bit similar to the way we do our crop fringes. So about 1/2 inch off the top. I'm going to match that up with the fringe as well. Just isolate the fringe. Do you want to sit just on the eyebrows?
Yeah, just on the eyebrows.
Just on the eyebrows, yeah. I reckon we could remove about that and that'd sit just right. And pull that straight forwards. Like so. As that dries in, that'll sit just on the eyebrows. And nice wide section. We'll use our guide from underneath and just match up. If anything needs to come off, then it does. If not, just make sure it's nice and even. Just going to help break up that fringe a little bit. Just taking the profile section, so I'm going through, cut off a little bit through there, so that as it falls, the layer behind is a bit shorter, and a bit shorter than there. Put it straight. That section is just here, you know. Cut, so what you've got is shorter bits, longer bits, and shorter bits and longer bits. Shorter bits will curl up more, the longer bits will probably S curl, so a little bit looser curl, but as they all bind together, it'll create a lovely little bit of texture in there. And I'll work from the back to the front. Doing wider section like we said, working on longer hair, taking less off, is that as you leave that wider section, you kind of almost over directing hair into the other section. So what that helps to do is create texture throughout the hair, throughout the top. Because if you've got longer bits and shorter bits and longer bits and shorter bits, what that helps to do is help movement, especially when you're working with curly hair. You take a bit more off this side now because of where the length was. Section just above the round of the head. I'm going to take a horizontal section and take this corner in a bit that's been playing up, bothering him a little bit, and take that in. Now this will help work with our blend as well. Horizontal, we can connect in, so that helps take away that really long corner. Again, wide sections for saving long bits and shorter bits. There's that shape put in there, so that's just at the eyebrows. And then we'll work on that little blend at the back. So I'm going to dry it off with the diffuser, just so we get that nice curl to it, okay? A little bit of salt spray. So to dry them curls in. I'm just twisting the hair between my fingers like that. I'm just drying these curls off. So really plug them curls up the back now. So I'm going to start on a 4, just because I think a 4.5, 4 is a good length. It won't look like it's any scalp exposure, but it's just a nice balance, that little bit where we've cut it shorter here. Do you see that little bit? That's my little guide that I'm working to. That's the thing that's going to keep it nice and square for you. So when was this last cut again, did you say?
About 5 weeks ago.
5 weeks, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Maybe 6.
Now we'll blend this in. Working up to the guide that I put in. Just strengthen this up a little bit. Don't want to shape it too much. So how short would you like to go on the step then? What are you thinking?
Just go for it, I reckon half. looks really cool.
Yeah, it looks nice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
See, the 4 doesn't look that, or the 4.5 doesn't look that short, does it at all? Cool. Why should you? You've never met me though.
Yeah, true.
We do the same thing again this side now. So perfect one side and then do the other side. So working up just to the temple, got my guide just sitting above there. Blend in 4.5. Now work on our line out onto our edging. Try and strengthen the temple area. Make sure it's symmetrical both sides. There. Okay. And what I'll do, just either side here, I'll just line out the neckline a little bit as well. The cleanness and sharpness as well. Looks nice. Cool. Now, one last little bit to do. And that is through the crown here, and bring it out. And I'm gonna move this side here. So what we'll find is, as we pick the crown up, a little bit short, but a little bit longer bit there. Just cut that little corner off, just so that you get a nice little graduation into the top of the mullet. Hence why I was holding it like this, as it gets longer down the bottom. How's that all for you, mate?
Great.
Happy, yeah?
Yeah.
Let me show you the back. So even though it looks like we didn't do too much, we've broken up
There's
the
a lot
curls
of friction
now.
there, for sure.
It really is, isn't it?
Sometimes it does just sit like a dead cat.
Yeah.
Like,
Thankfully it doesn't look like that now. It
No,
looks like a fragrant 80s
yes.
cop.
Love that.
Happy, yeah?
Yeah, I'm really
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Looks awesome. Thank you very much, Reece. Wow, what a mullet, man. I mean, look, we don't really need to describe what we did, really. It's pretty obvious what we've done. Now, I was going to put a tram line in, but we don't need to because you've got a half. I honestly thought you wouldn't go down to a half. At first, I thought you'd go to like a 2 or a 1, maybe 1.5, and I thought you might need that little line in just to add that separation, but he doesn't need it. So I think the half works really, really well. And it adds that step that we need. If it's anything a bit longer, I probably would have suggested putting a tram line in or a very, very fine line just to give that separation of it being short to longer. More of a harsher effect anyway, but an 0.5 is perfect. And that's pretty much it. Would you like some product like to style it in, or would you like to leave it more natural? What would you prefer?
Something to define the curls would be good. Maybe something creamy, something.
What about a powder?
Yeah, go for it.
Have you used one of them before?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well these will bring out the curls. You do, work it across the top. And then for the back, bring your hands and just scrunch it in yourself, okay? And then scrunch it in. What I'll do, that'll bring out the curls loads. What you do is you scrunch it through, okay? We're at the top, work it in like a shampoo. And that'll bring out loads of curls in there, as you can see.
Proper.
But it's completely matte, completely reworkable as well, and it just gives you a lot more definition, a bit more thickness as well, so the curls look a bit thicker more than kind of being too wispy, so they get a bit longer as well. So that is a really nice haircut to almost end the day. I respect you so much, man, for having such a creative haircut. It's awesome. It's really nice, refreshing to see, mate. It really is.
Can't even see my slug of a moustache on this.
Have you got a moustache? Go ahead, take it off. I'll socially distance. Wow, strong.
Tell you what, the worst thing that ever happened to me this year was when Tiger King came out. for quite a while, and I've never had been heckled from a car until then.
Yeah, man, he wasn't, you know.
Not the best representation of mullets.
Probably not. No, I wouldn't suggest that, mate. No.